This is the Drapers Hall. This is where the negotiations and sale of the wonderful Welsh wool and the Welsh woolen cloth Welsh Plains took place. So we have to remember, and we're here because that's the starting point to our story. We know quite a lot, thanks to the good records of the Drapers Guild. We know quite a lot about this history, and so it seemed a suitable place. Hi, I'm Liz Millman, and I've been working hard for the last couple of years putting together this project, and we're delighted that the Heritage Lottery Fund is able to support us. So we're now going to introduce others who are here today at our launch event at Drapers Hall in Shrewsbury.
I'm Caroline Sansom. I'm Assistant Project Manager for this project. I'm particularly interested in the location of the pandies, and that's something that I'm going to be supporting community research volunteers in locating pandies in their own area.
Adam Coward from the Royal Commission on the Ancient and Historic Monuments of Wales. We maintain the National Monument Record of Wales, which is an archive of the built environment of Wales, and we'd hope that our records would be of use to the project, as well as the project's findings feeding back in to enhance our understanding of the Welsh built environment.
My name's Chris Evans. I teach history at the University of South Wales, and my principal interest is the provisioning of the Atlantic slave system, and that has taken me into the study of Welsh woolens as the basic material used to clothe enslaved workers in the Caribbean and elsewhere.
I'm Salama Tufada. I am Race Council Cymru African Links and the chair of Gwynedd Africa Society. We want to congratulate Liz and her team for getting the funds to do this Welsh Plains project. And we're here to facilitate any links with other researchers in Africa and support them generally.
I'm Peter Alexander, and I'll be helping with the liaison between the community groups and setting up the research project groups.
My name's Angela Devonside, and I'm with Learning Links, and I'm Caroline's little helper. My function is to help out and slot in where needed.
Hi, I'm Marion Gwynn. I'm a part-time tutor at Bangor University and Head of Heritage for Race Council Cymru. My particular area of interest is public history. How do people actually get to know the past? How do we engage with it? I worked for the National Trust for nearly 20 years, and my main area of interest is how do you get people how do you share difficult histories with particular interest in, for example, the way that heritage houses, the way that our country houses are connected to slavery. So a major part of what I do is to engage the public with difficult histories, and hopefully without opening up new wounds to start arguments all over again.
My name is Natalie Fagan-Brown. I'm one of the directors of Learning Links International. I'm also a forensic linguist and a sociologist. So my interest in this is looking at the social impact on Jamaica and Africa of the wool that was taken, the Welsh plain that was taken into the countries. What is the impact on the people, and whatever legacy there may be. So that's it. Thank you.
This has been a wool trading area because we are in an area called the Marches, the Welsh borderlands, and the wool here is brilliant. It grows really well and the sheep grow well. Just an introduction and leaping forward, in the 19th century with agricultural improvements, the Shropshire sheep was the first sheep to have a stock book, which was used for people that wanted to improve their stocks to buy or rent a ram. So it was a bit like think, what are those dating agencies called? For sheep. Oh, yes, it was, yeah. There was no messing about. They were there to breed, so that was Tinder's probably appropriate. The hall itself was as a result of the trading of wool. The drapers were the original wool traders in about the 12th century. They emerged as part of the merchant guild of the town, and then a little bit later emerged into form a separate guild. So the merchant guild looked after all the trades, and eventually the crown realised they could get more if they set up the guilds.
Some of you are academic researchers who probably are frustrated to bits at the approach that the community researchers, who are the rest of us, are taking for this project. And that's going to be a tension throughout the project, but it's also going to be a synergy that makes this project really interesting.
What is the main question? And so when we know, then we begin to think about methods. How do we go about answering these questions? You see, and then it leads us to the end where these are our findings and then these are recommendations for further research. That was my concern. But I'm not saying close it up, no. I'm just saying let's walk in a way that
What direction
we can all relate,
Yeah.
you know, we know what we are, doing.
We've got kind of quite fugitive clues in the air and in the archive, but they really need to be brought together so we get a fuller understanding. And I think that's why I think the work that Adam's doing and will be doing is so critical to mesh all that into the landscape and to relate these questions to the demands of planters in the West Indies like the Pennants, where we can look at what did they do with this material. So it's in some senses very, very basic. We are in a position of ignorance, and we need to take the first steps towards the light, so to speak.
Well, it was fantastic. It was just so fantastic to have everybody together, the people who are the sort of project team, and to be able to discuss ideas, to check where we're at with our aims, getting suggestions about what we can do, hearing initial research findings. Absolutely fascinating.
Well, I learnt quite a lot about the town of Shrewsbury and the connections with the wool trade, and it was really interesting to hear the other parts of the research that are going to be carried out in the future.
It's been absolutely wonderful. It's pulled together lots of different threads, lots of different ideas. It's given us a more focus, I think, on what can be achieved with all the expertise that we've got, the people involved. It's fantastic. It's been a really good day.
Well, I think we've gotten a lot of interesting ideas about how, from a Royal Commission perspective, our records can be used and utilised to inform diverse histories like this, to kind of rebalance the historiographical scales, as it were, and readdress how we kind of present sites and interpret sites. So I think this project is going to be really mutually beneficial for us and better understanding.
I've learned how the Welsh wool is used right across the Caribbean, particularly in Jamaica, and how it used to clothe the slaves and stuff like that. But also how it is like a cycle, comes back and also impact on other places across the world and stuff like that, which was quite interesting, basically.
Yeah, it was because, how interesting and intricately woven the whole Welsh wool and, into the histories of the world, for that matter. The New World, Africa, the Americas. It was quite interesting seeing how things, were all related and linked just by wool.
Today I really enjoyed the process of listening to the presentations and learning about how the importance of wool was to the Welsh economy. I was aware of some of the history of the Shrewsbury drapers marketing wool that was used in the slave trade, but I wasn't aware of the details that I got from today. So it put that detail into context for me, so I enjoyed that. I also learned a little bit more about the world economy, how it fitted into the African experience of selling clothing to Africans in Africa, maybe as a precursor to going on board a ship. But yeah, enjoyable day.
I think a lot of it was the networking and meeting new people who will be working on bits of the project, and also getting direction on the way that we're going to be delivering the project and the questions that we need to answer.
Today I saw a community working together, bringing in different ideas, different information, which is very important for this project. And I find out there's still a lot of work to be done, so we have to shape the research questions to be able to deliver at the end of it so that everyone is happy.
So many different things. One of the main things was networking, talking to people, bringing people back together again, and beginning the process of finding out where we move this project forward. We've discussed so many times the great ideas, the potential of it, and now we can actually see the processes that we need to go through to make sure that we realise all those points that we were talking about all those years ago. Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting project.